What is good, everybody? It is your boy Cab back with another video for you guys. Today we have something a little bit different, because y'all know usually when it comes to the wish list prediction videos, all things like that, it's all about the stuff that I would like to see come, whether it be DLC based or Xenoverse 3 based, when we did do those videos back in the day. So what I figured we do today though is take a look at all the things that you guys would have liked to seen in this new upcoming Xenoverse 3 and really discuss each and every single one of them for the most part, and talking about why I would agree with it or why I would not. Now, this was a part of the whole hashtag Xenoverse 3 movement. As you guys see the tweet I put out, what kind of additions / changes y'all want to see in hashtag Xenoverse 3, whether it's new modes or gameplay related, let me know, and remember to add the hashtag Xenoverse 3 in your replies. Now, I will say, I just want to get my two biggest off my chest before we really get into this video, because without doubt, number one is rollback netcode. Like, the netcode for Xenoverse 2 is not the greatest in the world, and that's what truly holds this game back from by far being the greatest anime arena of all time. Like, it's already the greatest anime arena of all time, but if it had better netcode, this game would be damn near flawless. Like, think about all the issues you really have. Yes, there's the cheese and all that bullshit on the game that people can do with certain skills. That's just skill related stuff, right? But the actual gameplay, are there really any issues if the netcode was actually good? Like, really, think about it. Because the number one issue people talk about is like, oh, the hit detection is bad and stuff online when I mention this to them. And think about the simple fact how hit detection is not bad offline. So if it's online, that also means it's the netcode. So again, if rollback was added to Xenoverse 3, my God, how amazing that would be. And then the second thing I would like to see added, and this is something I've wanted since Xenoverse 1, is tournament mode. Like, tournament mode is a big factor of Xenoverse. Hell, whole Dragon Ball, big factor of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Super, literally 2 of the 3 major arcs were tournaments. I don't count the first 2 arcs considering those were movies. I count the rest after that. So we literally had the Universal Tournament arc, and then we had the Tournament of Power arc. Literally, 2 tournaments out of the 3 major arcs of that damn show. Why do we not have tournaments in Xenoverse? It is literally a staple of Dragon Ball since Dragon Ball. It's been in Dragon Ball Z. Think about it. The Cell Saga, the Buu Saga. Like, tournaments are just a staple of this show. So I'd definitely like to see them added in the next edition of this game if and when we do get it. But now let's get into you guys' stuff that you guys would like to see. First and foremost, coming from the homie Starcast. He says more races like Demon, Angel, or Kai, also Xeno characters in. That is something that I 100% agree with. I've always said that more races like the Demon, the Kaioshin race, the Angel race would all be dope without doubt. And those are all honestly 3 different races. Like, he says Angel or Kai, but really if you think about it, the Kaioshins are not angels. Kaioshins are something completely different from what the angels are. So those would be 3 different races right there that could be added, and that would definitely be dope to see without doubt. Now, Xeno characters in Xenoverse 3 at the same time, that's another thing that would be dope to see without a doubt. Now, the next one comes in from the homie Dimlos89. He says, I'd love for more Universal Awokens, that's for sure, as well as more Turtle and Crane themed Strike Ultimates and Supers. I would really have to go back to Dragon Ball to really get an understanding again, because I haven't watched Dragon Ball in years, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's one of the funniest things out there in terms of anime, in my opinion, I was always just dying laughing with that show. I haven't watched it in quite some years, so I would have to go back and really take a look, especially like at the tournament scenes from Dragon Ball, to see some more of the Turtle and Crane themed Strike Ultimates and Supers, because right now they're not really coming to memory. But that would definitely be dope to just see more stuff Dragon Ball related in Xenoverse without a doubt. Now, the next man up is Thomas Salazar. He says, actual working Kaioken that actually multiplies your power. See, while that would be it would really be Dragon Ball, you know what I mean? It would be accurate to the show. It would really make Awokens way too OP. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if Kaioken, which is the weakest Awoken in the game without doubt and weakest in the show, if it had its multiplier, then you would have to put the multiplier on Super Saiyan, and all those other things would just break the game in a sense. Like, you would literally be one-tapping people with the multiplier of Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God and beyond and stuff like that. So it would be dope in a sense, but at the same time, it just would make the game absolutely broken at the same time as well. Now, moving on, we got the homie Sin Nameless. He says 2 words, hits clothing. Also, when the ground gets destroyed, I'd like it to stay destroyed. I would definitely like both of those things. Hit's outfit is something people have been begging for since the beginning of Xenoverse. He said also Android race would be cool. Have a feature like they consume less stamina, but their base is less. Like maybe they start with 11 11.5 bar instead of 3. Oh, 1.5 bar instead of 3. He's talking about like the beginning stats. I mean, I think an Android race would be cool, but I would prefer it to be a bio Android race in a sense, because if we got an Android race, it would really just be looking like another human / saiyan race in terms of appearance and things like that. Whereas a bio Android race, which is like what Cell is, would be completely different in terms of the type of CAC. So I do agree, but I would put a slight tweak to that at the same time. Now the homie Kyrus Bappo, he comes in and says custom auras, facts. Hair change, post transformations, facts. Heroes content, facts. The ability to change clothing, if, for example, Goku's gi on CACs. What does he mean, like change the color of the clothing? Because I think that's what he's saying, and that facts. And more transformations for other races besides Saiyans, facts. Like everything this man's came with right here is absolute facts, and definitely things I would like to see. I've literally said for like the last couple DLCs, if we did get an awoken skill, I would have preferred it to be something that is universal, something that all races get, because I feel that would keep people on the game more. Now I'm glad we're finally getting Super Saiyan God without doubt, but at the same time, if they were to add it in something like a God of Destruction form, or even Pure Progress, or something along those lines that every race would have access to, I truly do think it would keep people on the game a lot longer, because then you would have something for each and every single CAC, as opposed to just the Saiyan race, which at this point in time, I mean, with this Awoken being added, the Saiyans by far have the most Awokens in Xenoverse 2. Next up in this thread though, guys, we have the homie Novocaine JR saying, man, I got a Bible ready for that LMAO. My top pick would be more races and the implementation of more heroes content. It's there, use it. That's 100% facts, man. The heroes content, it's literally like, it's a treasure chest of content waiting to be opened by Bandai and Dimps for this community. I mean, really think about Xenoverse. It is set in the Heroes universe. Why haven't we really dived more deeply into Heroes as an actual content? Like, we're getting the villains from Heroes in the sense of Toa, Mira, Demigraw, now Few. But what about the heroes from Dragon Ball Heroes? Where's the Xeno Gokus, the Xeno Vegetas, things along those lines, you know what I'm saying? So again, I truly think that it is just an absolute treasure trove of content waiting to be unlocked by Bandai and Dimps, like I said. Now moving on, we got the homie Dylan D 2099. He says controllable melee and key blast clashes. What I think he means by that is like ones from back in the day, like the Budokai days, where there was different things. Like at one point, I believe it was mashing a button. At one point, it was like the timing with the analog thing. There was just different ways that clashes were handled back in the day when it comes to Dragon Ball games. So I think that's what he means by that right there. But then he also goes on to say more transformations for other races like UI Omen and etc. I feel that. More customization for CAC. Yes, that's the first person that's mentioned that. More customization for your CACs would definitely be dope. Like, for example, taking away the damn wigs and just adding them in as hairstyles. Again, definitely would be dope. And then also moving tails and spiked up SSJ hairstyles too. 100% facts. Everything the man said, I honestly do agree with and definitely would like to see in a Xenoverse 3 without doubt. Now, we got the homie King Sober Boy saying, hair that actually spikes up when you transform, custom auras, custom combo presets can be obtained from mentors. Now, let me say what I feel about that. Custom combo presets, if they were mentor related, I've mentioned this in the past, if they were mentor related, it would really just be people using the most OP combos in terms of which characters have the best combos. Like if it was in Xenoverse, for example, Xenoverse 2 right now, you would see probably a lot of Goku combos and a lot of hit combos, things along those lines. Some of the more better combos within the game, right? So again, I don't think it necessarily should be obtained from mentors, but I think what would be cool is if each and every single race had like 3 to 5 different fighting styles they could have, and these fighting styles really just correlate to your combos, what kind of combos you're throwing out and things along those lines, as opposed to, you know, actually being able to obtain them from mentors. Because like I said, at that point, I truly think people would just really be having the same combos on every single CAC race for the most part, and that would get a little bit dull and a little bit boring to just constantly see like Goku's combos or Hits combos or even Gogeta Blue combos, things along those lines. Now moving on, we have the homie Zombie Jake. He says, I just want playable characters from the Hero universe, especially Full Power Rose, Cumber, and Evil Saiyan Turles. We've seen that plenty of times, and again, 100% facts. We got the homie Burkle coming in and saying, custom auras, please and thank you ever so much. Yes, custom auras, like people have already said, it would definitely be a dope addition to the game and one that is definitely needed. In my opinion, it just adds into that more customization for CACs and would just make our characters feel that much different from everyone else's at the same time. Now moving on, we have the homie Salty Jono saying beam clashes. I'm not gonna say that because guidelines or whatever, but it's a Dragon Ball game. That's facts. Beam clashes are a staple, just like tournaments are a staple of Dragon Ball, and we have not had beam clashes in Xenoverse at all in any way, shape, or form. Now moving on, we have coming in from the homie Games Uriel is his at. He says fusions between CACs. Being able to transfer your XV2 CAC and data over to Xenoverse 3 if you don't want to make a new one. Okay, Netcode, very good one. First person to mention anything about that. Good story, a telltale based story in which your choices matter. That would be cool. Like maybe some kind of story where you could actually go down the evil path line. That would definitely be dope. And then new races such as androids, Cowshins, and Beerus race. Definitely agree with all the statements that my man said in that tweet right there. Moving on though, we got the homie Grugs XV saying new game modes like an arcade mode, tournament mode, endurance mode, and really just more game modes that do not require internet. I want the game to focus more on single player options. I feel that I can understand that where he's coming from with having more options for the single player and the offline PvE players, because PvE players really, I mean, you got story and you got parallel quest. Besides that, what do PvE players really have? You know what I mean? So I completely understand that statement right there, and it definitely would be dope to see more things added in for the PvP. Like an endurance mode is really like a survival mode. That's really not something that should be too hard to code into the game. An arcade mode really shouldn't be too hard to code into the game either. And then tournament mode is something that I've definitely always wanted since the beginning of Xenoverse, without doubt. Like I said earlier, it's literally a staple of this damn show. Now moving on to the homie Tay S. Thompson 1. My man's got a decent list right here. He says Demon Race, Android Race, spiky hair when transforming into Super Saiyan, more transformations for every race, not just half-ass shit like what Xenoverse 2 has. How to, do you have the golden race for our Arcosians? I believe that's like the little alien thing that people call them. But not the first, second, third, or fifth forms. I feel them on that. Like, it would be nice to see more transformations on the other races that are race exclusive as well, as opposed to just universal ones being thrown out there. Because while universal ones would be dope to see on these races, having their own race exclusive ones at the same time would also be very nice to see. Now he goes on to keep saying custom auras, better netcode. I'm tired of getting challenged to fights by people who only have one bar or less. Saying tails, not that curvy brown shit. Facts. Beam struggles, new hairstyles, not no damn wigs. If they can make wigs, they can make styles. Yes. Yo, my man's was going off. I'm not gonna lie. This list right here that he really put together is absolute fire, and a lot of it I completely agree with at the same time. Now, the homie AJ says better hair / hair spikes when transformed, moving tails, custom auras and key color, better combos and better story are some of the things off the dome. There's honestly so much more. It would be a perfect game, and that's facts. There's definitely a lot of things that could be added in to Xenoverse 3 that a lot of people would truly love. Like you've seen from all the things people have listed already, there is a lot of stuff people would like to see added to this game. Like think about how many changes Xenoverse 1 to Xenoverse 2 made. I think it's definitely possible to see something similar like that from Xenoverse 2 to Xenoverse 3. Just saying. Now the homie RDF 2050 says 4K HDR support. While I think that would definitely be a dope addition, seeing how Xenoverse 3 would most likely be a new gen console game if and when it does happen, I think it definitely will have that 4K HDR support without a doubt when it actually does eventually drop, again, if it does happen. Now moving on, we got the homie Young Master Flash saying transformation training to for example, complete X amount of battles PQ or online will transform to no longer have an that's interesting. That's an interesting concept right there. That's a new one we have not seen at all either. That would be kind of cool, because that would honestly, it would encourage people to do more things with these transformations in an offline or online setting, and it would encourage them to get to that point to where they don't have those negative effects. That would be cool, because you can master forms in a sense in Dragon Ball to where they take less ki than they did when you initially unlocked them. I mean, look at Super Saiyan. When Super Saiyan is initially unlocked, for most Saiyans, they get very tired very quickly. So if they were to add in something like that, where there was some kind of transformation training to negate those effects, that would definitely be dope. Moving on though, we got the homie Anthony Place. He says actual battle royale mode and tournament mode. Battle royale mode, I mean, I guess he's assuming or saying something similar to like what goes on in Shinobi Strikers. And while that, I think that honestly could be a pretty dope concept, without doubt. I think there would definitely have to be some things that may be tweaked about it from what Shinobi does, because in Shinobi a lot of people just go after the top rank, and you know, you could kind of spam jutsus with a range from far if nobody's paying attention to you. So I think in Shinobi Strikers it was a good concept without doubt, and one that could be translated just with some slight tweaks here and there, you know what I mean. And then again, he does say tournament mode as well, which is what I said from the beginning. But moving on, we got Flawless like VVs. He says CAC races using cast characters combos, but CAC races using cast character combos, but reasonably, i.e. I don't, my brain is drawing a blank on what that abbreviation means. He says if you're a freeze race using cells, coolers, and Frieza combos, Majin's using all the Boo movesets, and maybe, oh, okay, I like this. This is a better variation of saying how these races can be applied, but at the same time, I do think it would just make like Saiyan races that much more OP if you really think about it. Like, you got Goku, you got Gogeta, you got some of the better combo movesets in the game. If they were to be that way in Xenoverse 3 as well, that would just be mainly applied and only applied really to the Saiyans. And then humans really wouldn't have some of the, I mean, I'm trying to think about human combos. Tien's combos ain't terrible, they're not great though. Yamcha's like the combos for humans aren't terrible, but they're not great at the same time. So I think that's a good thought right there, without doubt, in a way to make it more diverse, because like I said, if mentors were the ones to give out combos, everybody would be rocking the same shit on every single race for the most part. So that's a very interesting concept right there. I think they would just have to balance out the actual combos for races better, and it's something that may happen in Xenoverse 3 as well, because think about the combos from Xenoverse 1 to Xenoverse 2, they're different for the characters. So that's definitely something that is possible. Now the homie Slow Plays comes in and says moveset choices. I believe he's talking about combos when he says moves, because we can choose our moves already in the game. I believe he said he's meaning like combo, like your combo set choices, which again is something that I would definitely like to see. I think the best way to implement it though would be adding 3 to 5 custom combos per CAC race in the game. That would definitely be something that's dope without doubt, in my opinion. Next up we have Eon. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your names. Right there, but he says offline tournament mode and UI for CACs. I mean, I agree with that. The only thing is, I will say UI for CACs, I've said this before, it would be really hard to implement, in my opinion. You would have to change the way it works in a sense, because how UI works right now, it would literally be the only thing you see. Like, imagine UI Goku but with CAC stats, you know what I mean? Think about how OP that man really would be if he had potentially 10 bars of stamina like you do see at times without limitations. He had over 2.5 bar of health and all these other stats that would just be absolutely insane. Think about how crazy the UI Awoken would be. So I think it's implementable without doubt, but I think they would have to change up the way that it works. Man, moving on to the homie Nix Zero, what you doing? He says hair physics. That would be a dope addition. Because if you really think about it, our hair doesn't actually have physics. It kind of just stays still at all times, I'm pretty sure. So that would definitely be a dope addition without doubt. It's the little things that can really change a game, in my opinion, especially like Xenoverse 2. The homie Mr. Scopey says, oh man, I could have a whole Word document. I mean, I feel that. I feel that. There's a lot of things that people have, and it usually comes down to like customization stuff, really, that we would want to see added in the Xenoverse 3. Now moving on to homie Ozil Krill, he says, 1, I want beam struggles where you can choose to add more ki to win the clash or stamina or to completely escape. Also, if you lose the clash, you should take a lot more damage. That really sounds similar to like the Injustice system, where it's like you give up bar, a certain amount of bar, to either win or lose a clash. And while I think that would definitely be a good system, I don't think it should be a lot of damage that is added on, because if you do get in a clash, well, who knows actually, because if you are wasting all your ki, you're pretty much set down to 0 and can't use moves till you get it back. But then again, depending on how the ki clash works and how fast charge moves work, you could get something like, if for example a Divinity Unleashed potentially off in that time period that they are knocked away and recovering, to where you pretty much do have a major advantage as well. So I don't know, I would really have to see how all the core mechanics of Xeno 3 worked, how the knockaways worked after a key clash and things like that, to really say whether it should do a lot of damage or just a good amount of damage, you know what I mean? But then he goes on to say they need to give us more than just scratches and blood when we take damage. I want to lose half my gi when I take it. That would be cool. Have actual clothing physics. Oh damn, my man has a list. But have actual clothing physics without doubt would be a cool addition. That's the new one that we haven't seen. The AI should be able to transform mid-fight outside of parallel quests. Yes, they should also combo and stamina break properly. Friendly AI should be interactable, and you can command them to assist in your battle. Okay. Or stand by the fight with other. Oh, I like this idea right here, because honestly, the computer in Xenoverse 2, there's some brain dead nonsense they be doing. Like, it feels like you fighting some crazy ass dude when it comes to the AI. Like, they just be doing nonsense, to be honest with you, and annoying nonsense. So to have them more programmed in terms of like an actual fighter, that would definitely be dope in my opinion. Now, moving on, he says, instead of adding wigs to the game, yes, they should just be extra hairstyles. When a Saiyan transforms, their hair should spike up accordingly, or at least make it an option for those who prefer to keep their hair the same all the time. On that note, we need better hair physics. Again, all things that have been mentioned right here, but definitely facts without doubt. And he says, lastly, for now, I'm going to keep this thread open in case I have more later. He said, we shouldn't need to pay for things that should already be in the game, such as DBZ era characters or music packs. Either the hashtag Xenoverse 3 soundtrack slaps, or give us all the music in form of all. Okay. I mean, I feel what he's saying, because I mean, think about it. We did have to pay for some music packs that came out. While I understand, you know, Bandai and Dem's trying to get their money, it would have been nice to just have that music in the game from the very beginning. So the homie Krill definitely makes a lot of good points in that thread that he put together right there. Moving on though, we have Orewa Sun Gohan. I really don't know how to say that. We're just gonna call him Sun Gohan. He said, I want to see collab characters from different anime like the Dr. Slump or even Dragon Quest. I mean, that would be cool. I mean, I get where he's going with that. I just don't know if those in particular anime would be like the ones to really put in, because then people would be making things about like, oh, how do these characters really compete with Dragon Ball characters? And really in a lot of animes, how do some characters compete? Especially like the bigger animes, I would say the bigger shonen like a Naruto or something along those lines. How do they really compete with the Dragon Ball universe, in a sense, where the Dragon Ball universe has gone? Like damn near everybody in Super is becoming universal. It's kind of crazy. So again, I would definitely like to see some collabs. I would like that. I would really like that in my opinion personally, and I think it would bring a lot of hype to the game at the same time. Now moving on, we have the homie Jose. He says custom auras, different fighting styles, more customization options, and races for CACs. Maim the hair change when going SSJ. I believe that's a typo right there. Fully animated Sandtails, fixed netcode. All shit I agree with. Again, a bunch of customization stuff that would definitely be loved and wanted in Xenoverse 3. But then the fixed netcode part at the end, that does it for me right there, because again, the netcode is by far the biggest issue that Xenoverse 2 has as a game. Now moving on, we have the homie Review Ben Sam Will. He says maybe they could give us Ultra Instinct or Ultra Ego Awaken, since they're technically canon and happen before the end of Z, right? Wait. End of... Huh? How? Oh, he's saying like the end of Z in terms of like where the last episode of Z was, where Goku was fighting Oob. Okay, I get what he's saying with that now. I don't know. Canonically, it's really weird in terms of Dragon Ball, like, because they had Dragon Ball Z as the canon, and then they came with Dragon Ball Super, which changes what happened in the end of Dragon Ball Z. So it's really weird to say. With that, I'm not gonna lie to y'all probably understand what I'm saying. Like, think about it. Dragon Ball Z ended way down the line, like 10 years down the line or some shit like that, where Oob was actually already training with Goku, and Dragon Ball Super, Oob is still a baby where we are right now. So it's a really weird timeline when they decided to make Super canon and add it in at the point in time that they did. But moving on, we have the homie Kurut B. He says, to be able to change the color of any piece of clothing and accessory, facts. Custom key color, facts. Actual beam clashing, facts. Xbox, PlayStation, and PC cross-platforming. I definitely would like to see the cross-platforming. It's just the only thing they would definitely have to basically get rid of modders in every single way, shape, and form, because if not, then people would definitely be complaining on like Xbox especially about having to deal with modders in the new Xenoverse when they never had to really before. Now, I'm not saying PC has to get rid of mods in terms of offline, because they have the easy anti-cheat, and I'm assuming that would be implemented into Xenoverse 3 as well. I'm just saying for PlayStation, they would truly have to figure out a way to get rid of all the modders that are online. Now, moving on, we have the Hesula. He says, being able to change your stance / moveset, as well as altering the color of your key aura, more non-Saiyan specific awokens, make all wigs into hairstyles, animated Saiyan tail, key blast clashes, and Super Saiyan hair changes. Now, at this point in time, it's getting to seem to be like a lot of very similar tweets coming in from everybody, which is understandable. Like I said, it's a lot of the customization stuff that really people want to see in Xenoverse 3, and that this whole tweet is pretty much about customization besides the key blast clashes, because that is the stuff that is really lacking. Like, that customization for CACs is really lacking in Xenoverse when you really think about it. Like, there's so much stuff that could be added in, and that I think honestly Jump Force did better. This is one of the only things I really would say Jump Force did better, and that's not necessarily the full customization of CACs, like how you initially make your CAC, but just like things that you can do, like changing the color of your beams and your skills in that game, for example. That was really a dope thing and a dope addition that Jump Force did have, that I wish we would have seen something like that in Xenoverse without doubt. But since a lot of these are getting the same, I'm going to go through some of the last ones, because there's not so many left. We're going to go through some of the last ones and truly see if anyone has some new ideas. And if they do, we'll come back with them in a quick second. Alright, there definitely were a couple that caught my attention. I just did look through them. The first one that caught my attention was from the homie Islam McKenzie. He says, Saiyans must have tails and the option to remove it. I like that right there. It's not even an accessory. It's just something they naturally have. I like that idea right there without doubt. Now, he goes on to say hair changes, which we've seen a lot, custom transformation for each race. The other one that really got me was the mode to have an only on ground fight, like Tournament of Power. That's interesting too. A new mode that is like the Tournament of Power completely, where you can't fly, you can't do anything. Like, you can jump, but you can't fly or anything. Like, think about how Xenoverse would really be played in that. That's definitely an interesting thing, and would make for a pretty interesting mode at the same time. Now, moving on, he says map changes. This was another one that caught my attention on his list. Map changes, if you knock someone into the end of the map, like Jump Force, that would definitely be cool, because some of the maps do have fairly small limitations to them. So being able to knock and have like stage transitions happen when you knock someone far away, or when you're like close to the end of the map and you hit them with some kind of move that would knock them away, that's definitely a dope concept without doubt. And he says no more only sky levels, incorporate them into the level like DBZ burst limit. Like, being able to go that high into the sky, that would honestly be kind of crazy, not gonna lie to you. But moving on, there were a couple others that really caught my attention. This was one of them from the homie ND Rage. He said more character creation slots. That's one that I have not seen at all in this list right here, and it's definitely something people would want. Like, think about it. How many times have you had to delete a CAC to bring in a new one? I know personally, with doing the different videos back in the day where I was doing different characters, like making a Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, making the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and all the just different themed characters, like when I made the Supreme Kai, things along those lines. Not Supreme Kai, well, damn, why can't I think of damn Blue Boys? 1 second, I'll be back. Okay, like the man's King Kai. I don't know why I drew such a brain fart on that right there. I just could not think of the man's names or what they called him in the show. But King Kai, for example, like, that is a character that I made back in the day. And again, he's just someone that has been deleted since, because I needed the slots for other characters and CACs. So definitely something that I agree with without doubt on the more character creation slots. Moving on, the homie Unlimited Painworks or Blindside, he said usable weapons. That is a concept that would actually be very, very dope. Like, have a sword fighting style in a sense. That would definitely be cool without doubt to see in Xenoverse, in a Xenoverse 3. Moving on though, I don't believe there were too many others that I saw that really had different different things said in their tweets that we had not already seen at this point in time. Custom stage or custom charge animations. I mean, that may be cool. That's something that we really haven't seen. Unique grabs, that's something that we have not seen. Unique grabs, having different kind of grabs in the game besides having the same all CACs. Well, all the CAC races have the exact same. Like if my male Saiyan had a different one from your male Saiyan, that would definitely be pretty dope. Like give us a pool to choose from, similar to how the combos, how I talked about, like maybe 3 to 5 different grabs that you could choose from, just to add that variety and truly make your CAC feel that much more unique from everybody else's. Moving on though. I'm trying to think. I don't think there were any more that were really like that I saw that really had any true differences in them. But shout out to everybody, man, who commented on this post and all the good ideas that came from this post at the same time. Like there was a lot of stuff and things that I hadn't even thought of, to be honest with y'all, for Xenoverse 3 that I would definitely like to see without doubt. But let me know some of the things that you guys liked the most in this video in terms of the suggestions and just wish list people had for a Xenoverse 3 if and when it does happen, and what you guys would like to see most. If there was something that was not mentioned in this video right here and you guys have a different idea or something that would definitely be a dope addition to Xenoverse 3, let me know down below in the comments, man. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video right here. Honestly did enjoy recording and see all you guys' ideas. We may do some things like this more in the future, so be sure to give your boy a follow on Twitter down below in the comments. Down below in the description is my Twitter. It is linked. If you ever want to get in on one of these, you're definitely going to have to be following your boy without doubt. But again, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, hope you do have a good day. Peace, y'all.